I was at a conference some years ago, and I was in the front row, and she was on the panel, and suddenly I found her looking directly into my eyes, and I thought, well, it's just a fleeting glance, but it was more than that, for it was prolonged, so much so that it made me feel slightly disconcerted. And on the other hand, there was just a tinge, mind, of flattery. I still don't know which it was, but she was determined to look into my eyes and to hold my gaze. Now, I don't know what it was about. Not necessarily sure it was an attraction. As you all know, I've got a face for radio. It was like she knew me, or wanted to know me, but it felt like she knew me and she knew what I was about. I don't know. There are these men and women moments in life, and though the temptation would always be there, hey, we're all like, I'm all married up, and as I said, I wasn't sure to begin with. That's what it was about. But it just occurred to me today, do you remember your woman who just kind of looked into my soul? Anywho, I don't know if you've had any moments like that whatsoever, but I'm telling you, it happened. It happened. And how has the year been going for you so far? As you know, I kind of guest star appearance every so often, not to patronise you, but to look in on you, because we used to have something going on a fairly regular basis with This Much Is True podcast. I took some time off. Nigel seems to think I lost the plot during that time. Hello, Nigel. Nigel was involved on Scary EIRE this week, so I might put a link down below. Those of you who know me know what I do, a paranormal podcast. It's funny, we're going into episode 10 the week after next. It's just flown by. And if nothing else, I got to know that there's a hugely thriving, vibrant paranormal community in Ireland, and I'm happy to say now I'm friends with pretty much the heads of most of them, certainly on knowing terms, mutual knowing, and it's great, it's fantastic. But sometimes I wonder, it came from an incident in my life that I had to follow up on, and then I had the great pleasure of tuning into BBC television. Is it BBC Two? I don't know. Uncanny. Anybody watch it yet? With Danny Robbins. Now, I first came across, if you pardon that expression, came across Danny. It must have been about 7 or 8 years ago. 7, I think. It was a podcast. And I remember noting the quality was superb. The atmospherics he set up were brilliant. And it was all audio. And here he is. Now he's in his early 40s with his own TV show. And I have to say, Uncanny is its name. It is beautifully produced. I don't know, it's like, what is there a word called Proustian, is it? But these beautiful backdrops and use of filters and audio. And he's brilliant. He really listens, not overdone, but he listens to people recall their paranormal experiences, or their spiritual or supernatural, whatever you want to put on it. It's just like, really? And what happened then? Do you know Jesus Christ? No. You just watch it if you're this side of the ocean. Well, you can probably get it on BBC Player on a VPN anyway. So that's been great. Oh, I've just come from watching two young men on television, just in passing. They're on a talk show here with Tommy Tiernan. And you think you've problems, because I get a few tinges every so often in the old area where I was operated on. I know you're rolling your eyes, Nigel. I'm just saying, right? I do. I get kind of pain. I have to watch. But these guys were like 28 and 29, I think, brothers, and their mother had passed prematurely, like 52 years of age, of this terrible, I won't say it's, but an Alzheimer's type disease, you know, that dementia type thing. My own mother got it in her early 70s, and it was terrible to see someone just being stripped away in front of you, and I think I might have related to that before. But these guys had to get tested to see were they carriers of it genetically, and they are. And essentially they've got about 15 years before the symptoms start to kick in, and there's nothing you can do about it. And there still isn't anything you can do about dementia or Alzheimer's. You can try and keep yourself sharp, though, with fish oil and Sudoku and anything to kind of keep the synapses firing away as best you can. You hold it at bay. These two men essentially know they're going to get this thing. I don't know if that would put them off even getting married. I don't know. But I said to my wife, God, you think you've got problems. You think you've got problems. You know, it's like a sentence hanging over you. Oh, look, my hair. I tell you one thing, you could eat your dinner off my arse tonight. I'm sorry to be crude. Because I've stepped out of a salon and I've just had a great shower. It was a real Lord wash away my iniquity, cleanse me from my sins type thing. It was like deep. Oh, I needed it because I didn't feel great tonight. Took some painkillers. Here I am. Saw those two guys and it put things in perspective. So look, how are you feeling about 2025? I mean, you've got Trump in now, don't you? So I don't know. I'm not going to get political. There's I actually can agree with some of his attitude to things, but I am not being sold because I think billionaires are never concerned with the ordinary people. And he just became one, actually, thanks to his Bitcoin type thing, and he's got Elon there. I kind of think I welcome the change because Biden had lost the plot, and that other Egypt they had lined up to go in behind him hasn't a fucking clue. Whatever about Trump, he speaks his mind. He is like a Trump in a frickin' bull in a china shop, and it just might shake things up. I know what I'm saying, and I know it's not palatable to a lot of you, but I'm just saying, for fuck's sake, bring whatever is going to happen to a head. Because I've said it to you multiple times. I felt for some years now, something is going to go down. And I've said that on numerous videos. And at this point, look, hey, I've had a reasonable life. I'm in my early 60s. My father, God rest him, tomorrow would have been 93, I think. So I've had a chunk of life. I worry for our children, of course I do, and grandchildren, and if they ever happen. But look, take it day by day is all you can do. All as I know is like, may you live in interesting times. Damn frickin' right, And Europe is paying the price now for its own hubris, I think. But I'll say no more, except I don't know. I used to there would have been me that went, oh, I'm behind Trump, but now I'm kind of going, no, don't fall into this trap. So I don't. In fact, I surrender now. I give up. I don't know anymore. Your guess is as good as mine as to where it's all going to end. Your guess is as good as mine. There's like, these days there's such a polarity. It's you're in my camp or you're not in my camp. I heard someone say the other day, and that really summed it up. Oh, thank you to Richie Allen, by the way. Richie Allen has a super podcast. He's an Irishman based out in the UK. He is the quintessential journalistic broadcaster. And God, you're good at times, Richie. I doubt you're watching this, but God, you really have it with the dot on the I at times. How you steer interviews. For the fairness as well, you steer right down the middle. You don't get derailed as such. So that is impartiality at its best, and he displayed it during the week. But anyway, the reason I say thank you is I see a little tweet of mine, and he was helping out. You know, I don't have. He's got like 70,000 followers. I think. What do I have? 600 or something. And most of them are dormant. But you know, what do they call it? He shares it and reposts it. So. Thank you, Richie. I had the pleasure of guesting on his show twice, and it's never been anything but a pleasurable experience, especially when you're. This relates to what I'm saying. You know, when you're kind of Johnny No Mates to an extent now, business has picked up again. It's great. In fact, I'm going to onto Chicago just after this. For a voiceover the other day as well. On Monday, I had a session for a big brand. I may not even get it. They'd already paid me in advance to set up. And suddenly I switch my camera off when I'm doing these live sessions of direction. And I do that for a reason. My wife doesn't necessarily agree with me, but I do it because if I'm the voice, that's what I want them concentrating on. I don't want them saying, oh, look, it's an old fart. I don't want them to say, oh, Jesus Christ, where did he get that shirt? And likewise, to an extent, although I did have mine on, and I was confronted with fresh-faced 20-somethings, 30-somethings, who were very articulate. Their job is to get me to perform, hopefully, for their client. I'm not sure I've made the grade on this one. And you can't get offended by that. It's the nature of the game. Sometimes you're just not the right man. But I saw them all lined up on different areas of this, in different areas of the city, and I went, and I've been there before, kind of. It's been a while though. And I went, oh shit, here we go. And I get a script, and they showed me a video as well, which I can't talk about. They'd heard some of my stuff, they liked it, but here I was. And they literally, it's their job to pick and pluck and parse and analyse. And there's, anybody that thinks acting as such, and I'm a voice actor, but not an actor. I mean, I actually have so much admiration for those now in the acting community, because as you know, it's 99% rejection. But I can see why. Because they know what they want. And unless you can harness their desires or the desired outcome for their client, you're gone. You're history. You're toast. But I thought what was lovely at the end of it was that I said, look, the guy running the company had already paid me in advance. And I finished up. I knew they had a deadline. And I got this lovely WhatsApp from him saying, you went above and beyond things today. Invoiced me for an extra, and he gave me serious, very good money for the hour that I just done, more than I expected, or wanted. He was saying, no, I want to pay you something. And there's still good people left in the world. I was happy to walk away from that and kind of go, well, I might get some of the video footage if it makes it to TV or if it makes it to social media. But no, he wanted to pay me fair and square. So, we're what? 15th of February. I'm kind of going, whoa, what happened to all the New Year's resolutions? Up until around the 25th of January, to be honest, there was a lot of domestic stuff going on. So I will jog around the block 10 times and all this stuff. That, well, I didn't say that, but it's, that all went out the window. I was just busy being a house husband and doing stuff, domestic utility stuff that had to be done in the house. It was stuff that just got in my way, and yet it was productive. So that's good. It's progress. But I'm not on the track I'd want to be. Scary EIRE, the podcast, that's going great. As I said, episode 10 on the way. What did kind of annoy me, well, it hasn't annoyed me because I'm long enough in the tooth at this stage, but I wanted to get that show onto a local radio. And I'd got some very good vibes just before Christmas. Now, the bottom line is it didn't happen yet, because I don't give up that easy. But I doubt that guy even listened to the first show. Oh, after careful consideration, no, I don't think so. I doubt you even listened to it. And it wasn't that I was butthurt, because I'm versatile. I jumped straight back in the ring and said, okay, what do you want? And I suggested at least 2 really good shows, ideas. Oh, well, we're looking for volunteers that are local. And yeah, I'm a volunteer and I'm local and I'm surrounded by freaking radio equipment, and 30 years experience between broadcast, be it broadcast radio, TV, voiceovers. As I said, I have equipment coming out of my ass. What do you want me to do? It's going to cost you nothing. Silence. I'm kind of going, this is fucking public money, you know? And with respect, community, fine, community radio. But you know, who is going to listen to some of the... I've checked out some of the shows. And with respect to Swahili music or whatever it might be. And again, this is sounding like sour grapes, but it's not. I'm just saying, Swahili is going to be, I'm taking an example, it's going to be niche of niche. I mean, if you went the paranormal, as I said, Uncanny is huge on the BBC, came from a podcast. Here I have, it's all recorded. I can send it to, I can edit it for you. Recordings all over the country, you know, in good quality. You wonder with these people, don't you? You kind of go, what the fuck? I'm giving you this for nothing. But it's no big deal. I mean, to be honest, I should aim higher. But I liked where the place was located. That's what it was. It's a nice place where there's lots of coffee, and I needed to just clear my head and get out of here. I need to get out of here. And I will be getting out of here during the week. So, look, it's 17 minutes in. Have I made any sense to you at all? Have I said anything of interest? Has anyone tried DeepSeek? It's very good. This is the new AI as a kind of counterpunch to ChatGPT. Very impressed, although don't rely on AI. There's a slogan for you. Don't rely on it. I do find it helpful. I find it very good at times. But you wouldn't want to rely on it. Because it certainly with DeepSeek, it started to generalize a lot. I noticed that. It generalized. So it's almost like you're warm, but you're not quite hot, Mr. DeepSeek. You know, I said, for instance, there were, and these are historic now, I was aware of 2 murders in this area I'm from, in South Dublin. And one was very well documented, and the other not so. So I said to it, diddle-diddle-doo, tell me about the murderers in the area I'm from. And it came back, and it named an unsolved murder, but it was totally unrelated to this area of the city. It was relevant, it was Irish information, everybody in the country would know if I mentioned. I'm not going to. The individual who went missing. And yet, here was DeepSeek telling me, and I'm kind of going, Jesus, DeepSeek, you were doing so well, which it was. I let it loose on another area of history I was interested in, and it came up, you know, really, really well with results, more than I'd expected. But this time around, and once or twice as well, I found it bluffing, or being right, but not 100% accurate. And accuracy is where a lot of it's at. Am I boring you? Are your eyes glazing over? I don't know. Maybe you want to listen to Scary EIRE podcast. Go Scary EIRE Paranormal. I might put a link to it here underneath. Those I've given up asking you to get in touch by thismuchistrue at protonmail.com. Sue, you've gone quiet on me. Sue's my old buddy. Sue, I hope everything is fine in your life. Sue, Nigel, Jerry, yeah, Tara, whoever else. I know there was always a coterie of about 8 there that used to be regulars. But look, it is what it is. I certainly hope your life has been slingshotted around 2025. Everybody has challenges. I hope you're getting on with your challenges. Thank God for every day that you have. Anything else? Yeah, I better be careful I don't burn the bloody studio down with all these lights, eh? Yeah, so it's Next up is my voice is going to Chicago. So look after yourselves and take care because I care. And stay in touch. Thismuchistrue@protonmail.com or comments below. See ya.